government. He came on 5 nights a week. You can look it up. In fact, somebody got to find the archives of those Alexander Haig shows, because it was really good news, but he's really evil. And he would sit there just for like an hour and talk to a few guests and go, hello, I'm former General Alexander Haig, former head of the National Security Council. And we're going to discuss the deployment of blimps over every major city and my company. And he would just go over it all. And then I would tell people that they've had national news stories making fun of me. They've had a bunch of them. I think one of them was 2020, one was Nightline. It was MSNBC go, he thinks they've launched big blimps to watch you. Yeah, at 130,000 feet in the edge of space, they're flying around watching everybody. And I'm sorry, I'm informed. I mean, I'm sorry, I know what I'm talking about, okay? I mean, I told you 16, 17 years ago, the NSA was watching everything you do, mainly for economic data, to give it to select corporations to dominate the economy. Not for America, by the way. By the way, spying by our country is good against economic enemies if they're aggressive towards us. But when we do this domestically or to good people, we lose the soft power. We lose our good name. And that's happened a long time ago. We'll be right back. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalists by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the InfoWar at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com. My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only 2 ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with Nascent Iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent Iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of Nascent Iodine, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Nascent Iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality Nascent Iodine today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. hand-crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
We are on the march. The Empire is on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The sands of time for the Republic. When the due process goes out the window, you can kiss everything. Prosperity, you name it, goodbye. America thinks liberty is funny and a joke. A lot of Americans could care less about due process and our republic. Well, you're going to lose everything now. A gangster culture. Everybody acts like thugs and thinks they're cool and tough and is too lazy to get involved in society. Overrun by criminals at every level. By the way, I mentioned former General Alexander Haig and the Blimp plan, and the guy's search engine, what I talked about, August 4th, 1997. A bid by former Secretary of State Alexander M. Haig Jr. and others to build a global communications network with 250 blimps has gotten a boost from federal regulators who have agreed to set aside airwaves that could be used by the ambitious venture. This then went black budget, folks, and has been in the air that I know of at least 15 years. And is now going to go with repeater blimps down lower. And remember how many times you heard me talk about this and heard national news say I was insane. They had ABC News up in Utah about 4 years ago say, is it a blimp or a UFO? And it showed the big giant blimps with propellers up at over 100,000 feet and said, must be a UFO because there's no secret blimps, there's no NSA, there's no fluoride in the water, there's no GMO in the food, and the cancer rates are exploding, but that's a good thing, and the government loves you and the government cares about you. Now, let's shift gears into the big news that I was just mentioning here earlier. Let's talk about that. Here's the story up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com right now. Obama launches chilling purge against political enemies. The political persecution of former Virginia Governor Robert F. McDonald and conservative filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza for alleged and comparatively minor infractions are part of an accelerating purge being led by the Obama administration in the run-up to Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential bid. Throughout history, every culture has had maxims in law denouncing and banning, by the way, the openly corrupt sitting in judgment. The Obama Justice Department is openly launching a Night of the Long Knife style purge of the political enemies that should send chills up the spine of all Americans. Now, notice the media, the controlled media that won't criticize Benghazi, that won't criticize Solyndra, who won't criticize no-bid contracts, who won't criticize Obama getting a third of his money from foreign donors openly, illegally, and open bundling of tens of millions of dollars and then tiny little fines. Obama does stuff literally 10+ thousand times bigger than this on purpose openly and gets, oh, you got to pay 1% of that money back. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. I mean, not even a slap on the wrist. It's more like rubbing some cream on the wrist or something. Okay, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. I mean, look at John Corzine. Took $2 billion out of private accounts of banks that his company bought up. He was the former head of Goldman Sachs, former governor of New Jersey. But because he was an inside guy at MF Global, he got away with all that. Took him years to only pay back a fraction of it. And it goes on and on and on. Oh, and there's going to be no charges or even an investigation into the IRS persecuting the Tea Party, gun owner groups, Second Amendment organizations, pro-life groups. Remember all that? And by the way, they're in the news now doing it again. Why not? Because if you don't get in trouble, the sky's the limit. people go, well, this is just politics as usual. Both parties attack each other. No, they don't. Look at Tom DeLay for 5 years persecuted for stuff totally legal. And now the local politicians here in Austin and the people involved in that had to step down quietly, and then he got part of his name back. But this is the type of stuff they do. And that's what I've been told by election lawyers, is that if you are a libertarian or a patriot and are not corrupt, they can find literal white glove inspection garbage on you and send you to prison the way the election laws are written. But if you're a wide open gangster who has corporations paying for his houses that he had in other people's names totally illegally from campaign donors in Chicago, you know about it all. It goes on and on. These are the Clintons that make $1,000 investment in cattle futures and, get hundreds of thousands back. It is wall-to-wall corruption. The Democratic Party is a group of gangsters that use every dirty tactic they can. Remember, the Democratic Party until the 50s and 60s was the party of the Ku Klux Klan. They couldn't beat Republicans and returning veterans, and the Republican leader, of course, being Martin Luther King, who was also pro-gun. You should look that up if you didn't know it. That's on record, by the way. And so they just shot him, of course. But the large and RFK and JFK, because they weren't playing along with the old Klan-run Democratic Party as well, like Senator Byrd, who just died a few years ago, was a Grand Dragon. But that's okay, because Arnold Schwarzenegger could be a Nazi and the son of an SS officer. As long as he's anti-gun, pro-open border, it's okay. If you're not a Nazi, though, they call you one. Obama came out last week and said, it's racist that people are criticizing him and he has a low approval rating. There's no intellectual debate here. It's just weaponized. So the Democrats looked at the demographics and they couldn't win. And so they shifted over. Eisenhower really scared him when he left office in '61. He was so popular with black people. The Civil Rights Act got passed by Republicans and they flipped out. And the memoirs have been written about LBJ and all the rest of them. And I'm not going to quote what he said, but you can look it up. Just look up what LBJ said about black people and the Great Society and the rest of it. And it was a way to control folks. It was a way to get people back on the plantation, and they have, big time. Big time. And they are race baiting all the way. And they want to bring in 30 million more illegals on top of the 30 million that are here, who will then do whatever the Democratic Party says and vote illegally on record and get driver's license on record all over the country and vote to take our private property, our guns, everything. And the Republican leadership is for it because they're bought and paid for by the same interest. But the Democrats are running the show. Dinesh D'Souza, an immigrant, an American citizen, whose movie made $45 million, the second highest grossing documentary ever, despite a controlled dinosaur media blackout, was about unifying all races, colors, and creeds around the Bill of Rights, Constitution, due process, Bill of Rights, free market. He has a new movie coming out called America that's set to be bigger, that has the producers and people that were involved in Schindler's List. It's got the system really scared that mainline conservatism could reverse the absolute reign of siege in Hollywood that I was talking about Thursday before this broke with former Congressman Bob Barr, how it turns out conservatives and libertarians make up a 1,500-member secret organization because they'll be persecuted in Los Angeles and be given no work. Take James Woods saying he'll never work again for criticizing tyranny. Take all these people. Take, I mean, the lists are countless. It takes so much courage for just a liberty lover, like a Billy Corrigan of Smashing Pumpkins on this show, to go public, or Dave Mustaine of Megadeth, countless others. And they get persecuted, folks, when they do this. So now, over $20,000 given to his college best friend, something Obama does routinely. He's now been arrested, and so has the governor, and they've both pled not guilty. I'm going to break down how big a deal this is and how it's a purge starting when we come back. This is all for Hillary, to pave the way for her. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our immune support